לוקח זמן. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Q Talk with Living Q. Living Q, it's a co-living community based in Los Angeles and San Diego. Today, Q Talk is actually our third episode, and we have a very unique subject, human design. Doesn't say much, but we have all the way from Israel that it's 7 a.m. over there. So thank you so much for Gaya Ariel for joining us.
Good morning.
Time. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy to be here and to share some beautiful stuff with you that helps.
Thank you. So let's start with what is human design?
Nice question. Okay, so the human design system is actually a new knowledge. It's relatively new. It's only like something between 30 and 40 years on this planet, really new knowledge. And it talks about, or it teaches us how we are built. And it's also called the science of differentiation. So this might even shed more light. We are talking about a chart. We are building a chart, a human design chart, that shows us how we are built mechanically. It's not about our personality or character. It's about the mechanics of each and every one of us. It shows us how it is correct for us to operate in the world individually. So when we understand how we are built, it's easier for us to make the correct decisions. And also, it really helps us to separate ourselves from what is called normal, because there is a way that we are all, how do I say it? I don't want to say programmed, but we are in a way. We know we are born and we do the same things like everyone, and our parents want us to be the same as everyone, and it's like a soup, a big soup that we are all swimming in, and most of us don't feel very well in this soup, even if we do what's needed. So the human design just helps us get back to who we are individually and find the uniqueness and the things that we are good at, and also the things we are not good at, so we can stop trying to be somebody that we are not. So this is what the human design is. We are doing it. We are using our birth data, birth date and accurate hour to create the chart. And then when somebody really wants to understand what's going on, then we need a professional, or we can also get a lot of stuff on the web. But if we want to get deeper, we go to a professional. We can also learn to read charts. It's very easy. I mean, it's, it takes time, but it's easy. It's not the word, but it's really possible for each and every one of us to understand the chart. And then we can start operating in a different way and make different decisions, and our life and our relationships improve.
Wow, that sounds really interesting. And yeah. I know, because I did a personal chart with you a few weeks ago. That's how we met. And I can say from my personal experience that I was like kind of mind-blowing. So also when people ask me what it is, and I'm like, it's astrology with all this knowledge inside, like what is the chart? Is it just like, from my understanding, it's the first day that you were born, the position of the stars and other things, and the 3 months before you were born. Just maybe tell us just a little bit about what is Intel, just to get a better reference of what is a child.
Okay, so let's show a chart, okay? I just want to share the screen and I will just show you, just a minute. Okay, I don't know what you see, but in the here,
Yeah. Yes.
let's say here, let's show this chart, okay? It's just a human design chart of somebody. And you know what? I will even show you another one, so you will see that everyone is different. This is yours, Ifat. um, we just see that every chart looks different. Okay, so a chart, as you see, you see this structure with 9 geometrical shapes, which represent the 9 energy centers in the body. And the 9 centers are connected between themselves in what we call channels. And we see this on the right, we see this column of astrological signs, the signs of the planets in black, and on the left we see another column with numbers and astrological numbers in red. Now this, the black column is the state, the place of the planets in the minute that the person is born. And then we go 88 degrees back of the sun from the place that it was in the minute we were born. And then we get another set of information. And the chart represents the quantum connection or the whole picture. I can show you. If we look only at the black, it will look like this, and then only the red. And when we combine it, we get the whole chart. Now, this is not the important method. The important is what we can learn from the chart. But the beauty that visually you can see how everyone is totally different. Now, we have the colored in centers and channels, and we have the centers and channels that stayed white. We call it open, we call it defined. The colored in are the defined centers and channels, and the white stuff is the openness. And each and every one of us, except reflectors, you can see a reflector here. A reflector is a type, I will explain it in a few minutes, that doesn't have any definition. But the other, most of the people, this is 1% of humanity. All the others, they have a definition and an openness. And the game between what is defined in the person and what is open shows us what on which parts in ourselves we can rely that they will be there always. Like in human design, we call it inner authority. I will explain it soon. And the other parts, the openness, shows us how we will experience life. And we can see when we look at the different charts that each and every one of us has a completely different experience. And when two people, for example, in relationship get together, they are so different that they need to respect this difference and understand it. Otherwise, they all the time try to change the other, try to please the other, all kind of things that we know from relationships, not only romantic, but also parenting and working together and everything. So this knowledge is very, very practical. Even though it looks mystical, it is very practical, and it helps us in our everyday life and to become more and more ourselves and to really fall in love with who we are and with our uniqueness.
Wow. I mean, looking on all those chart is just, it's Chinese, but it's amazing. And, you did mention there's different types So how will that help me knowing what type I am?
Okay, so this is really very, very important. I will share my screen again. I want to show you. Uh, it's amazing that the program asks me again the same questions. Just a minute. Do you see my screen?
Not yet. Yes, now.
Oh, you see this picture. Okay.
Mhm.
So we have in human design, I think the most amazing thing, we have two brilliant new ideas in this knowledge. First of all is type, and the second thing is what is called inner authority. So now I'm going to talk about the type, which really is a breakthrough for each and every one of us to understand it and to know their type. So the type is not about a character or a set of attributes or something mental. The type in human design is completely energetic, and I will explain it now. Every human being, actually everything on the planet, everything in nature has an energy field. But now we are concentrating in the human energy field. So we have an energy field, a very big energy field. Like if we spread our arms to the sides, you can add at least 1 meter to each side. Like we live in a huge bubble, which is us, which is part of our machine. It's part of who we are. And this energy field is
Guy, I'm
completely
gonna stop you for a second because somebody just texted me that the connection stopped. So I want to make sure we nobody missing.
okay.
Um,
Okay,
so
so do you think it's something in me, in my place, in my
mhm.
end?
Sure, Deborah, um, is the connection stop or are we good? What's happening? Oh, Deborah saying it's all fine. Keep going. Okay.
Okay,
And by the way, I just want to say thank you to Deborah. She's our Q Talk monitoring and doing all our social media. So high five for you. And I'm sorry. Let's keep going, Gaia.
okay. So we were talking about the human energy field, and we said that this huge field we have has a different mechanics for every type. And it's like if we can look at the picture now, I show you the different energy that every type has. And we will begin with the generator, because the generator is almost 70% of the population.
That's
And
me.
yes, you are a generator. And a generator, when a generator respects their energy, and I'm saying this because most of the people on the planet, they don't really live their design, so they might not feel all the attributes that are the energetic attributes that are connected with their type. For example, a generator is a very energetic type, and it came here. Its job on the planet is to do things. He really has a battery. It is called a generator because it has a battery of life energy. And basically the generators, they do everything. They are the doers, the movers, they're the workers in a positive way. Yes, not working in the office, but they just have this response to life, and they do what their energy responds to do. Now, when a generator respects their energy, then they feel satisfied. And when they don't, when they go after what their mind tells them and not what their energy tells them, then they feel frustrated. And
Okay.
if you look at humanity, you see that most of humanity use this word very, very often. So when
Which
a
one? Energy?
generator, what?
Which word are they using?
Frustrated. I'm
Oh, okay.
frustrated. I
Oh,
mean, when people come to me, they
tell
say
me
I'm
about
so
it.
frustrated. So when I hear somebody says that they're frustrated, I know first of all that most of the I mean, they should be a generator, and also they don't respect their energy. And of course, I can't explain in 2 minutes what that means, but a healthy generator lets their energy respond to life and do what they need to do, need from the stomach, not need from the mind.
So
Okay,
when
so
you,
and this is most of the population generators.
so when
So
Gaia,
when
when you
Gaia,
say
when you say
energy,
energy,
you mean
you
more
mean more
instead of
instead of
physical mind,
physical
it's more
mind, it's
listening
more
to our
listening to our
body.
body. Yes, yes, I will explain this in a minute about how we get how we make decisions. I will connect the
Right.
type and the inner authority, but I just want to just show you the difference between the types, and then we'll wrap it with the inner authority, and you'll get it.
Sorry, I'm
Okay?
jumping. I want to know more and more.
Yeah. Okay, so we said the generators are most of the population, and of course, each generator is different. Yes, we have a unique design for every generator, but the type just talks about the aura, about the energy field. We call it aura in the human design. And the way the generator's aura is very receptive and open, and they respond to life. And then we have three other types that together are like 33% of humanity, which are non-battery creatures. And this is very, very important, because for me, I'm a projector, and I was always very I couldn't understand myself, why I'm tired, why I can't do things physically like other people. And I met human design late in life, and it really saved me. It really saved me to understand, yes, I'm different, even in this little thing, energetically, which is not little at all. So the projectors, which are like 23% of humanity, they are here to see the other. They have an inbuilt quality of seeing the other in order to guide the other. And again, every projector is different, but energetically, we all are, our aura penetrates the other and gets the other. I don't know how to say it, but we see it's not something that we need to learn to know or to do. It's just built in quality. As the generator has the energy and they just do things and they are concentrating in themselves, the projector sees the other and he's here to guide. And then we have 9% of humanity are the manifestors, which also are not, they didn't come here to do and run like the generators. They are here to initiate action. They have the quality, their energy is very, very different from the generators. Their aura is closed and repelling. They are here to, like, I always, when I talk about a manifestor, I always have this picture in my head of Moses that, breaks the sea in two. They have this energy to begin things, to move things, to initiate action in a very special way, not from their mind, from their body, but they are very strong, very, very strong. Manifestors are unique creatures, really, and they are most of the time misunderstood because of the energy that is very repelling, but actually in here in themselves they are very gentle, and there are people who love other people and they are very gentle and sweet, but their aura, and we're talking about mechanics here, their aura is so strong that people sometimes don't get them really for who they are. And for manifestors, I'm working a lot with manifestors, it's a great revelation to understand this in really in everyday life, in every little thing in the relationships. And then we have the reflector. The reflector is really a kind of alien. it's only 1% of humanity, and they are built completely different. They are here to reflect a group. They are really, really unique. I can't even begin to talk about reflectors because it will continue for hours, but they are very different. And for them to understand who they are, it solves a lot of misunderstandings with life, really, with everyone, in relationships, in work. They have no energy. They came here for a very, very special task. And that's why I'm saying that it's so important to understand who we are in order not to put so much energy in correcting what doesn't need to be corrected. And you can't love yourself if you are all the time trying to be something else that you were taught that you should be, or that you saw your parents or your friends. It's different. I mean, I know it from my personal journey. I met human design when I was 47. And it was really a huge revelation. And it was after 25 years of working, in self-improvement, blah, 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 spiritual stuff. It wasn't, and it resonated, it's I'm not a creature from, I don't know what, I'm not weird. This is who I am. So, so that's the 4 types, in just,
That's amazing. I also see all these Facebook messages that people send in. So, I mean, lots of great stuff. And I want to also say, if you have a question, please write it down. And in the end, Guy will be happy to answer them. So my next question is, you spoke about authority. So if I know my type, but then, and again, I'm speaking from personal experience of having my own chart reading by you, Gaia, and learning so much about my mechanic, and there's so much homework coming after that. But tell me more about authority. Each one have a different, and I think that's like one of the first most important thing to know. Is it?
Yeah. There are 2 things. The first is the type, because type shows us how we are built, and how we relate to the world energetically. Of course, I can't explain more in 2 minutes, but it's the first thing we need to know. And when somebody comes to me, usually the first meeting is about understanding the type and the strategy. We call it strategy. How does a generator meet the world? How does a projector meet? And it's very, very important. Now, after we know this, then there is the second thing, which is, wow, it's about making decisions. I mean, oh my God, decisions are everything in life.
What's everything in life?
Yeah, it's everything. I mean, I usually see it as a T-junction. Every little thing is a T-junction. Even if I drink coffee or don't, if I accept an invitation to go to weekend, or to learn something, or to get married, or to take the shot, whatever, it's a decision. So we are used to live in a mental world. We think that a decision is taking what's pro and what's against, and thinking about it logically, and talking with mom, or talking with my best friend, or talking with a counselor, or I don't know, channeler, whatever. But the human design shows us something completely different. It shows us that that our body actually makes decision for us, and everyone has a unique and different inner authority. And we call it inner authority because we separate between the mind, and it doesn't matter which design we are or what type, it doesn't matter. The mind is not made for making decisions, but the mind is something that is about inspiring others when invited. This is the mind. The mind is an observer. It looks at things and it gets there. Everyone has their own way of looking at things, and this is great, we are different. And then when you invited me, then my mind now serves everybody that or inspires, let's say, everybody that is listening. But for me, I can't do anything with this mind. And this mind is very smart. And I'm saying it's smart because I'm working with people and I helped people for years and years and years. And my life were a complete mess before I met human design. And I was very, very bitter about that, because I said, how can it be that people pay me money to help them? And I did help them long before human design, but my life looks like a mess. I mean, my relationships and my money and everything was horrible before that. And then came this knowledge and said, my dear, your mind is amazing, but it doesn't and it can't make decision for yourself. So this was a completely breakthrough. And I understood how my body makes decision, and I started to respect it. And when a person, when somebody is willing, and I'm saying is willing because it is not easy to live our design, not because it's difficult. It's very natural. It's the most natural thing for us, but we are so programmed to make decisions from here and to listen to what other things. And remember, we are talking about the science of differentiation. So everyone is different. And what's correct for me might be completely incorrect for my partner, for example. So if I respect myself and my body, it's not very easy when you are too much meshed, let's say, with what is normal. So that's the challenge in living our design. It's not that it's difficult. It's not difficult. When somebody sits with me and I read their chart, I can see how they start to remember. I'm not saying everything, nothing new to anyone. They know, but that's why it's all about the timing. When is the correct timing for somebody to meet this knowledge and really to take it to their own life? Because it's like taking a step back from what we are taught, from what we were programmed, and we are programmed, all of us. Yes, it's the truth, So I will give example for three inner authorities, so you will understand. For example, a generator, which are 70% of humanity, can have two possible inner authorities. One of them is the sacral authority, like you, Ifat, that this is the battery. The battery is called the sacral center, and the battery is about availability. So when a generator has this authority, then their decision making process is all about yes or no that comes from the energy. So when I want to ask Ifat something, I will not tell her, listen, what do you think about blah blah blah, and then I take her to her mind, but I will ask her, are you free on Saturday so we can go to the beach? And what will happen in this minute, that her belly, her sacral, will respond yes or no, and it comes from the belly. It doesn't come from here, because here she could say, oh, I don't want to go, but I can't. I don't want to let Gaya down, and blah blah blah, or this or that, or my mother invited me, or this will go here. But when I ask her inner authority, and I just give you the idea. We can learn to do things. We can learn to awaken the energy that is asleep and ruled by the mind. We can do this. It's a process. It's amazing. But it's really what I want when I talk with my generator friends. I want them to say the truth. because I want them to love themselves. I don't want them to come and help me, for I'm a projector, so I don't have a lot of energy. So I have a lot of generator friends, and sometimes they come and help me with things. And I just ask them yes or no questions. Are you available today to help me? And when they say, I respect that. I don't want them to say yes and come and be frustrated. Oh no, because I feel this energy. And this is about being honest in relationships. So this is one kind of inner authority. Now there's another inner authority, which is actually the most ruling authority on the planet. 50% of the people they have emotional authority. I also have this authority. Now, this is a very interesting authority because these people need time for decisions. They can't know anything in the moment. They can't, and they do it. Before human design, I told you my life was a mess because I didn't wait for my emotional wave. And this is a process. Again, I can't explain everything here, but I used to say yes and no in the moment because I lived the opposite of who I am. And this is most of us, what we do, we live the opposite. And when I started respecting, giving time and letting my body let me know when clarity arrived, not here, then things started to change in my life and I
That's
became more,
important.
yeah. And I can see, people are jumping into relationships. They jump into money investments. I did that, and I did that a lot. And I had a lot of years to live incorrectly to tell you that it changes. And I work, really, I work with people like I'm 10 years in the human design. After a year, I start working with people. So I have 9 years to watch what happened to people that took this seriously and they chose themselves. They chose to fall in love with who they are without trying to change themselves. And it's like, it's like you carry a really heavy burden on your shoulders, and suddenly you just, maybe not suddenly, but it takes a few years sometimes, but it's amazing. And it's just respecting yourself. So being emotional is so important to know that, because if I make a decision because I'm very, very excited in the moment, this is really bad for me. And most of us, we do it. I mean, I can meet somebody and I think, oh, he's the one, and I'm jumping into bed or whatever, or to live together, and after a few months I just opened my eyes and I said, oh my God. And sometimes it's even not a few months, sometimes it's a few hours, but you make a huge decision and you regret it. So now I will tell you another thing, that if two people live together or have relationship, one is like, let's say, a sacral generator and the other is an emotional generator, they need to know how to communicate in a way that will respect both their decision-making process. It's really, really practical knowledge. I'm telling you, it changes. I'm working with couples. It's unbelievable what happens. It just, and parents and children and whatever, when you have a little emotional child, you need to prepare him or her in advance. You can't just say, okay, we're going to the sea. No, the emotional person needs time to digest even small things. I can't answer the phone immediately. I need time. So people know, they call me and I don't answer, and after a few minutes I can. It's really little things that you know about yourself, and then okay. And the emotional people are 50% of humanity. This is really, really deep. Yeah. And there's a few more inner authorities. I will just mention one. These are the splenic people. These can be projectors or manifested, that they have an intuitive authority. They know everything in the minute, in the moment. So it's really like, I have splenic friends. I don't ask them in advance things. I just say, on Saturday, I will ask you in the morning if you want to come to, because they can't know in advance. So when it's the opposite of me. I need to know in advance because I need to digest. And are you coming? Yes, I'm coming. No, I can't. It's in the moment. It's unbelievable. And again, in relationship, it can really change the whole thing when you know that it's not personal, that he doesn't want, or it's amazing. I'm telling you, it is amazing. When I talk to you now, I just get it again, how amazing this knowledge is.
I love it.
I
And
love it. And
I really
I
love
really love
when you're
when you're
talking
talking
about
about
respecting your own
respecting your own
authority.
authority.
And then when you get to know your surrounding people, if it's your significant one, or if it's a coworker or just a friend, and if you know a little bit more about their child and you know how to respect them, it just sounds like a great way to create great friendship with everybody around you. So I also want to ask. I know maybe this is jumping a bit forward, but when somebody get to know his own child, and I know I mean, you showed the child in the beginning, so there's so much to learn about it, channels and numbers and like things connected to things, and each thing have a meaning, and you can learn so much about yourself. So and there's also the whole deconditioning
Yeah.
that maybe, I mean, just give us a little bit hints on like more advanced thing, just to keep us more curious as well.
Okay. But I want to emphasize a very important thing. If a person wants to live their design, they don't need to know anything. They just need to have a few sessions, even sometimes 1 or 2 sessions, to get the really deep understanding of their own uh, innate instructions. It's not about learning the knowledge. It's very amazing, and everybody, if not everybody, it's not suitable for. I mean, I can see, sometimes when somebody tells me I want to learn everything, I can see in their design if it's correct for him to learn it or not. But I'm not talking about studying or learning, which is great, but it's not the point. The point is that if one of the people that listens here, for example, wants to improve their life by taking the correct decisions, they need just 1, 2, 3 sessions with a professional to get to know how to respect the instructions which are already inside. We don't need to learn it, we need to remember it, remember it,
Mm-hmm.
and to understand how to live it. And that's why the first stage in studying human design is also called living your design, because the point is to live it, not to study it. Now, it's very interesting to know deeper stuff about yourself. And for this, yes, we have channels, we have people which are more tribal and people which are more individuals, and we have profiles, we have a lot of things. For example, if I touch for a minute the profile, which really is interesting, and a profile is something that you can see when you create your own chart. You can see the profile and even search in the web, and you will get bits and pieces of it. This is very important because the profile shows us qualities which are so different from one another. There can be one that is really kind of a hermit, likes to stay at home, not to meet so many people. And then another can be one that cares about the big picture. Now, two people like this getting together, or a parent and a child. Sometimes people write to me, I don't know what to do with my daughter. She doesn't leave the room. And then I see her profile, even with not looking at. I said, yes, she will not leave her room. I mean, and then you just accept yourself and the other for little things. But of course, again, it depends on the person. I can share that in the beginning there were people started coming, and I started to see how different every session is, because I can see in the chart if this person is logical and it needs all the details, and I have to explain how the chart is built and blah blah blah. And somebody else comes and he just wants to know how to make decision, and it is amazing the difference. So of course there is what to learn here if somebody wants, but again, because this knowledge is full of details, there is a way to study it. There is a way to even to inquire yourself. You can't go to the most difficult details before you get the basics. And the basics is always, always, always type, strategy, authority. These are the basic. You need to get very deeply into this, because otherwise you can't live it. You can't live your design by understanding the details and the charm and the magic of the chart. You can't. You need to get what type, understand my type, understand my inner authority, begin living it, and then you can also study or get deeper into your chart. There are people come to me sometimes, they want to study for, to learn to read charts. And there are people that are coming to just study their chart. Again, it depends on the design, and it's so beautiful. And of course, for example, projectors, when they come, they always want to know about all their family right away, because they look at the other. And generators sometimes don't even ask me about their children. I said, you don't want to know no, I want to understand myself. So it's amazing. And I really recommend, for example, if somebody that really wants to understand how to raise their kids, this is amazing, because you can have 3 kids and they are so different from one another in very practical things, how they, when they need to go to bed, and are they energetic or not, what their relations to the society will be. I mean, it's unbelievable. So we have so much information here, and it depends on who you are. So don't feel bad if you're not now jumping to the roof and want to study human design. This is not the point. There will be people that will study human design, but for the most practical things like relationships, and yes, there's the juicy stuff, of course. How do I bond with the other? What's my sexual bonding style? And I'm not talking about Kama Sutra style. I'm talking about, am I built for a very tight relationships? Am I, all these kind of things. You can see this and it really, really helps somebody all of us to understand ourselves. So yeah, it's a sea of information.
Well, I'm sold. Also, if anyone at home have a question, please feel free to write it down. We're going to have a few more minutes for questions before we done. Wow, so all of that is, I think it's such an amazing thing. I just was revealed for that to this whole thing just a few months ago, and having a chat with you, Gaia, was great. I feel like, it's just the beginning, and it's just great to try it and to see how it's worked. So I'll say, what would be a message that you want to tell anyone that watched that? I'm sure from the reaction I got from people before the Q talk is, for them, it was kind of the first time hearing about human design. So I think, can you explain more about the manifesto and manifesting generator? Okay.
So this is just, this is an okay, there's a little how do I call it, confusion, because there are people that separate manifesting generators. But look, you remember I talked that I explained that the type comes from the energy of the mechanics of the energy field, not from something. Okay, so manifesting generators, or we call it in human design, MGs. The MGs are generators. They are a different kind of generators. They are very powerful generators. They can also manifest in their way, but the aura is the aura of a generator. So their strategy is to respond, and after they respond, and I got now deeper, because the one that was asking, I'm sure they saw on the chart manifesting generator, but a manifesting generator has a real challenge because they have a lot of energy, and they also can manifest or execute stuff, but they need to wait to their energy to respond, and then to continue with the project. Uh, in the difference between a generator and an MG, that a generator um, goes step by step. A generator needs to respond to every step of the way. They respond to something, they do it, and then they need to respond for the next. And an MG can jump and do some stuff. They have a lot of power when they leave their design. When they don't, they have many times throat issues or whatever, because it's I forgot to say that this is a good thing to emphasize, that everything that happens in the chart reflects in our health. When we don't live our design correctly, we have health issues. And for MGs, because they have a lot of energy, and this energy goes to the throat in order to manifest in the end, when they don't live correctly, they have a lot of issues. And a manifester is a completely different thing. It has impact. It doesn't, this type is not here to work or to do, manifest by doing. It just I don't know how the word in English, but we use initiate, but initiate is not the correct word. It's like they initiate a move. They initiate a move. It's like they move the energy. It's difficult to explain it in 2 minutes, but maybe we'll meet again and we'll do some type seminar or something.
To go deeper than that.
Yeah, but if we just look at for the question, we deal with manifesting generator first of all as generators, and then we
Add
and again, every chart is different.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I think this is a lot. First of all, I really want to thank you, Guy, for joining us and explaining all of that.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, for those of you that we like to get more information about Guy, you can just email us or contact Living Q. As well, this video gonna go into Living Q channel. So if you liked it, go ahead and check our YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and forward it to your friends. We're gonna have our next Q talk next month, so it's once a month. We might have another one. I mean, I feel like there's so much to cover. So, Guy, thank you so much as a generator.
Thank you. Happy to introduce this amazing thing.
And thank you so much for everybody for joining us. And we'll see you next month.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye from Israel.